Hello everyone, welcome to another Green Dragons Gaming. Without us, they wouldn't feel like winners. Without them, we could look so good. So again, we're based out of Westchester, Pennsylvania. We do have a tournament coming up, the Pandemic Picnic 2. It is going to be an outside tournament held in Nottingham, Pennsylvania. We did this in September, had a great time. Even though it rained, we had a great time. So we're hoping to go ahead and do this again outside and under a pavilion mostly. And this, as I said, is going to be in towards the end of May. I say most likely it's going to be in Nottingham. It may be in Kennett Square, Pennsylvania. I just need to confirm that we're able to get the pavilions because due to COVID, but it looks like with the latest CDC guidelines, things like that, they're going to start opening up, and then we will be good to go. So today we have the Empire of Sonnstahl versus the Kingdom. So here I have Marshall Phil Carl, aka Kazandu, versus myself, Lord Mark C, Sir MC, 2015. We're doing 4,500 points, marching columns breakthrough. Before I continue, I actually had all the picks. I was all set to turn around and do another battle report. Last time he and I played was about a month and a half ago in real life. And I sat down. I had everything all set up. I got pulled away. Never got back to him. When I got back to it, I'm looking at it. I'm like, I don't know what happened. So last time he and I played, and I don't want people thinking I don't put up games that I lose. That's not the case at all. Again, I ran out of time and I just don't recall everything. So I got to give this guy credit. Last time he and I played, he beat me on points, but I won the objective. So it was a 10-10. And he did something really nasty. So with the steam tank. So the one thing with random movement is its pursuit. So if it touches you and hits you, it's then able to do all those movement shenanigans that you can do with a charge, single model, blah blah blah. Don't ever ask me how I feel about random movement. But the time before that, we tied, I believe. And in which case that was straight up points and objective. We had a full tie straight there, and then the time before that I had won. So Phil is a very good player. For those of you around the Mid Atlantic, we know Phil very well. Super nice guy and good player. So here is my list. So what you have here is modification of my current list or my old tournament list. Again, it's been since they've updated the points. So feel free, flip through it. I'm not sure how I personally feel about it because of my own aggressive playstyle and nature. 9 points over core, so nothing I can shave there. And those three characters being the Duke and the two damsels, they're just solid for what they do. My only play in the army is literally just that paladin as to what I do there. I don't know. That's all I can say is I don't know. I'm still trying to find something a little different, but at the same time, my standard army, I've grown accustomed to it and I really like it. So here's his list. This is the list he's been running for quite a while. Feel free to go ahead, browse through it. I will say that for that wizard that he has, having the Locket of Suna means that my Duke cannot go into a unit by its lonesome. So here is how the board looks. Going from my left to right, you've got my aspirants, one scorpion, the yeoman without having a 5+ are sitting on the back. The Grail Knights, the Duke, the wounds aren't there. I just was lining up all my counters, so I had everything all set up. My quest with the BSB, and then my Knights of the Realm, my crossbowman, and another scorpion, and another unit yeoman. He has riders. The bears are the griffins. He's got the the one Death Star, followed by another unit of Knights, then the Steam Tank, as he calls it, or Betsy, followed by another unit of Yeomen, and another unit of Griffins. So here's how the board looks. This is, he had first turn, he moved up. Then I went ahead and I took the first picture after my movement, so I greatly apologize. I backed a couple things up because he will go ahead 5 dice, and his dice just can run hot sometimes, and I didn't want to give him. I gave him a 15 at best into the Knights of the Quest and the Duke and stuff. So I just didn't want anything really to do with that, and just kind of go from there. Let's see. So he's chaffing me up. I charged in with my Knights of the Realm, and during the Magic phase, I think I gotten 20 roots off on his Griffins or the Bears, and I killed his chaff with ease. I do not overrun. What I actually do is I reform, and I go 3 wide, which makes it go from a 12 to a 14. It was a 13, 14. I think it was just over 13 with the steam tank, and a 17, or just over 17. So we need 11 on dice to get in with the with his bears there. He rolls boxcars. So I thought I was sitting pretty. I thought I was playing a smart game. He goes ahead and does that. The aspirants are over there up on the hill just looking over in case you got too hyper aggressive on the one flank. He did not want to really move up much because he didn't want to go into have to go deal with the grails, because again I did have chaff set up there for counterplay. During my turn, I do actually charged into the bears, lost 5 out of 8, and only did no wounds back. Actually, I did 2 wounds. I rolled horribly. He made his saves. I'm running the other direction, and he pursued. With that said, because he did pursue, and if you look at the angle here, he's actually lined up for the front of the Grail Knights. I chaff up his big bus, and I had gone into the tank. In the tank combat, I only did 6 wounds. My Duke did 5, my Griffin did 1, and the Knights of the Quest did 0 wounds to that tank. It happens. He again, as I said, Phil can roll hot. He was rolling hot. He was making his armor saves because it was still a 4-up armor, 5 up against the Duke. During his turn, he declares a charge with his prelate, and even though I fled through the unit, the prelate lost line of sight because of the way the rules are written, which we all knew. There was no question. I just want to explain this. His prelate charged around the house, touched that unit, and blows them up because they're fleeing. He reforms. He's going to end up facing the Grails. As I said, that other unit went in, ate my Knights of the Realm, and then proceeded to charge because he didn't want to countercharge with the Duke or anything. So now it's just staring at the Scorpion. I lined up my Yeoman right behind it just so he couldn't do, because they do have a musician technically, so he couldn't do a reform and get in position. So I want to block him from doing that. So here, he did declare a charge, because again I charged him during my turn. He declared a charge into the aspirants. The aspirants charge through the Scorpion. The Scorpion fails its panic, therefore is shaken, does not shoot next turn. He chooses not to go in the Grails because he was only going to get in 1 or 2 of his Griffin versus all 17 attacks of the Grail Knights. Even though they're Strength 4 AP 1, they're still Res 4 and with a, they would have had a 5-up, 5-up. So probably be steadfast. They've got the, I've got a druid damsel. Then they come back. He'd already taken out my shamanism, so I'm literally just running off one of my lures. So rather than going to them, he actually decides to go into the scorpion, and he fails. He rolled a 1-2-2 or 2-2-1, whatever it was. He failed, and I have a lovely flank from the Grail Knights into his bears. Now, the other bears, as I said, go in the scorpion. They go ahead and eat that scorpion. During his magic phase, he just kept getting spell off after spell off after spell off, and I'm going, okay. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to save my dice for, I forget which spell it was. Oh, pardon me. Maybe Bubble Scrying, because I really didn't care about Stars Align. So I go ahead and I stop. I try to stop and I fail. He was rolling hot. I wasn't even getting close, and he was just blowing me out with magic and everything else. He had moved up his Outriders and shot off the one single knight, so I dropped below to 25%. So that unit's now on half leadership, so they need a 4. They did not do it during my turn, so they panic off the board. And again, that scorpion on the bottom left is shaken once again. Now, the Grail Knights, with where they are, is the Bears. I defeated the Bears, and I tried to restrain. I did not restrain, and you'll see in the next picture here where they ended up. During his turn, he did charge in with his Outriders into the Scorpion that's shaken twice, and that's where the Grails ended up. Now, I know I forgot to take a pick. The same turn that the Grails went into the Bears, the Duke charged the flank of that weaker unit of riders, and the BSB went in. Because the reason why I did that is I wanted to have a charge flank. I didn't want to lose that flank, and I want to have a banner. So I pinned him, and he didn't have a good answer for that. There was a lot of consideration whether or not I just charge everything into that big unit and take my lumps, see if I could do it, and because at that point I could have done with the Grails or the Knights of the Realm. The issue was, for me, he was using that building so that I couldn't do a multi-charge, because if I pop his Death Star, his game goes completely downhill. So well played by Phil, using the terrain piece. To me, I'm feeling pressure. He's got my two corners. Usually I control the flanks. He's got my flanks, and he's moving in for the kill. His Outriders take out my other Scorpion, and there's that. So let me go back 2 picks. So what I did is I moved the Knights of the Quest out of his line of sight into the flank, because again, that one unit is pinned. And he knows. Oh, pardon. He knows that if he goes anywhere else, I have my my yeoman readily available. His shooting's too far away, and that's about it. As I said, he did that. The Grail Knights here in this picture did a reform, and they have him boxed in now. So in his flank, he's got the Knights of the Quest. He's got in this, and the Duke. In his front, he has the BSB. At this point in time, he is more than likely to run. He's been steadfast through the last couple of combats, but this is it. This is where it comes down to, and at this point, he figures he's going to break. My yeomen are trying to draw the bears out of my deployment zone, so this way, after I'm done with everything there in the middle. Maybe I can go ahead and just take care of the bears. After this is basically when we called it. So I destroy that other unit, pursue, and run them down. Everything I need a Nate with everything. Everything. The BSB, the Duke, and the Knights of the Quest in order to get into that unit. And I rolled it. During my magic phase, I got off Stone Skin, close combat. My Duke pops his Lord. His Duke just did the 3 necessary wounds because it's a 1-up, 5-up. It goes to a 5-up, 5-up. And first round I did 2. Next that got through his armor and saves. The next one because I generate those extra attacks, that only does 1, but that's 3 wounds right there. So once he lost his Lord, he lost a lot that he had going on. So even though he had spells and buffs and all this other stuff up, at that point there's nothing he can do. And yeah, so we'll just say it like that. Yeah. So as I said, we called it. Ends up being a 19-1. I gave him credit for one of my units of Yeoman. I don't think that 130 points would have changed anything. But this was it was a fun game, and like I felt I had my back against the wall until the end. But that's usually just how I personally feel. And next time I play Phil and he beats me, I promise that even if I don't win or remember to put up the battle report, I'll just put up some pictures and say, look, there is proof, there is evidence he does beat me and tie me and everything else. So Phil, thank you so much for the win, and I look forward to running Pandemic Picnic. I'll be putting out the player pack on the forum once I have confirmed which pavilion we're going to be in. And I've had some people reach out to me from Tennessee, and if you do listen to this, it's even though it's only going to be one day, if you make that drive, I will guarantee you second games from my gaming group. So you will actually have games with at least 2 games that following day at same place, and we'll just get it, and we'll just have fun there. So that's it. Thank you, everyone, and until next time, happy gaming.